The question 11 is about adding and subtracting rational expressions. Here we have expressions. These are rational expressions when there are like fractions and whole numbers. They are either added or subtracted. Now, all the problems in adding and subtracting rational expressions can be solved in calculator when the problems are given like this. Let's take our calculators now. We have two types of problem. One will be single variable, one more will have two variables. The single variable problem, all you need to do is type it out as it is. So 12x plus over here 6 minus 3 divided by 5a squared. That is x squared. This is because only one variable is there. You just type it out and then calculate at any value. I will just go with 2. You can see the answer is 707. Write it out. At x is equal to 2, what's the value we're getting? 707 by 120. Now here you need to have the options. Since this is in the choice electronic part, we can easily solve this. Look into the options here. You can see you will have four options, right? This is the correct answer. But what happens is, let's imagine these are the two answers. This one is one more option. You type that out. Imagine it'll be 15x squared. I'm just showing a wrong option, okay? 15x squared divided by 48x squared plus something, let's take 9. Now calculate this at x is equal to 2. What is the value you're getting? 20 by 67. Is it matching here? No. So this cannot be correct answer. It's not possible. It should match. So let's look into all the four options. You will come to the correct answer, right? What happens then? Let's type it out. Fraction here, 360 divided by, 360a squared plus 5, that's a is in terms of x variable, minus 36, and we have 60a squared. Here calculated at 2, what is the answer? It matches. So this is the correct answer. That's how we can conclude that this is the correct answer, because it should match with the given question. Because simplifying means you're not doing anything wrong. It's the same quantity but in a different form. That's it. So if I put a over here as 2, and the answer I get must be same thing over here as well when I put the same value of a. In the sense I put x means a. Let's do for the two variable problem. You can see x and y are there, right? How would you solve this? Again, straightforward. 5 divided by 16. It's just that you need to assume two variables now. I will take x to be say 2 and y is equal to 3. You can take 1.5, 2.5, anything. But it's better to take whole numbers. It's easy to type it out. Now you can see y is what? 3 squared. Then minus 4. Then what do we have again? Minus 8 divided by, what is it? 3x squared. Sorry, don't write this x. X is assumed to be 2, so multiply it with 2 squared. Multiply it with 3. That's it. And see what is the answer you're getting. I'm getting over here negative 67 by 16. You need to be very careful. You need to check how you input the values. Imagine instead of x I put 3, that's the y value, then it's entirely wrong. So you need to be very careful and then check it's negative 67 by 16. Now only one correct answer will give you the same value. Let's check over here. 15 times x is 2 squared minus 192. Again, x is 2 squared and then multiplied with 3 squared, that is y squared, minus 128 times 3 divided by 48 times 2 squared times 3 squared. Now the answer is negative 67 by 16. Yes, then this is correct. Other options will not match with this particular value, so therefore they are wrong. Now what about these? You can try these by yourselves, guys. These are just single variables. You can do it and then check the answers. Let's look into some other problem. Okay, this one. Very important one. Now your answer is 0 here. So what happens here? Don't worry, it's the same thing. Let's assume, I'll assume the same thing. X has 2 and y has 3. Let me write it out over here. X has 2 and y equals 3 for two variable problem. In this case, it was only one variable, so you can just take x as 2 or type it as variable x and then calculate it at 2. It's up to you. Now what happens here is, sorry, don't write x, it's 2 squared plus 3 squared divided by 2 squared minus 3 squared. Then what do we have? Plus y is again 2 divided by, sorry, y is 3. Look here, I was about to do the main mistake. If I'd written 2, it's an entirely different answer. You won't be getting the correct answer then. It's 2 plus 3 here. And lastly, we have, it's plus again. I'm doing silly mistakes over here. Please don't do them in the exam. Minus 2 divided by 2 minus 3. So much is done. Press equal to. It's 0. But you might be thinking, okay, it might be only for this, is it? What about other values? You can choose any values. But never take x as 0 or y as 0. Don't take 1, 1. 1 is fine. But now what I'll do is I'll change these values entirely. I'll make it 12. Is that okay? All the x values from 2, I'll make it to 12. See here as well. This down 2 will be 12. All the x values are changed. And what about this one now? The answer is still 0. And let me do this as 30 instead of y, right? I'm just changing this to 30. So it's 12 and 30. There are two huge numbers, isn't it? Now let's see what happens. Everywhere, wherever y is there, it must be properly written, and the equation also, all the values must be written properly. And now you can see it's 0. No matter which values you take over here, your answer will be 0. So this is your answer. Whereas if you get some value, then check with all the other options, and then whichever is the correct answer will be matching. Same way over here, you can do this by yourselves. Let me do this one, 44th one. It looks a little big. Now here as well, let's put fractions and then again fraction, because there is two fractions, right? 2, instead of a, I'll put x minus 1. And then we add it up with what? Again, 3 divided by x minus 4. And then now over here also there are fractions. 6 divided by a squared minus 5a plus 4. And calculate it at 2. The answer is negative 1 by 6. Now you can't change this calculation value. I can take it as say 6 over here. That's fine. But make sure even when you are looking to solve these solutions, you must use the same considered x value. But always I generally take it as 2 as a by heart. So I will never change the value. I always remember it's 2. It's easy. Okay. The value is minus 1 by 6. Is it true? If I put 5 times 2, it's going to be 10 minus 1. Yes, the 10 minus 11 will be minus 1. Yes, minus 1 by 6 is correct. But you can check it out. 5x minus 11 divided by 6 here. Calculated at 2. The answer is minus 1 by 6. Similarly, you can solve all the other problems here. And now we have slope problem, which are very interesting as well. What is the slope formula? Slope formula is given as m equals y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1, isn't it? Now we are going to use the same formula, but here since there is p in the denominators, you can just ignore them. Let me show you how. First of all, this is x1, then this will be y1. If this is then x2, y2. Now what you need to do is substitute it. What is y2 value? This formula must be known. Now let's know the y2 value is 3 by p minus, what is y1? 1 by 2. This is 1 by 2 here. And divided by, what is x2? 1/3 minus x1 is 2 by p. So this is it. Now here what you do is, now after this much, put it in the calculator and assume some value to p. I'll show you now. I will type this entire thing in the calculator. Again, a fraction, 3 instead of p, I'll write it as x minus half 1 by 2, or you can write 0.5. And over here it's 1/3 minus over here 2 by p. That's it. Now calculate at any value, say I'll take it as 2. That's the answer. You can see the answer will be minus 3 by 2 here. You can calculate this at any value, say 35 or some huge value. The answer is going to be minus 1.5 or negative 3 by 2. Is that clear? So this is how we can easily solve for slope when the 2 points are given, two pair of points are given. Even over here, it would be just y2, that is 1 by 5. See, I just change this. It's, this is 5, sorry, not square root, 5, and above here is 1. 1/5 minus 4 by q. So here it is 4 divided by q, that is, I will take it as x. And then what we have is down x2, that is 5 by q. 5 divided by x, that is, and lastly we have minus 1/4 or 0.25. It's up to you. You can write anyway, you'll get the same answer. Now calculate this because x is taken. I'd say I'll generally go with 2. What is the answer? Negative 4 by 5. You can try the same thing and calculate it at any value, you will get the same answer. So that's how we solve it up. And now we have some real world problems. Here, Hachi needs to buy fencing for a rectangular garden. You can see that's the first figure. Write an expression in the simplest form that represents the number of feet of fencing Hachi needs. Are there any restrictions on the variable? You can see this is given as the length, the base, that's the length, L. And what about this one? That is the width, W. Now here let's write the formula for the perimeter because they want the perimeter, how much value of fencing is required, right? Perimeter is given as 2 times length plus width. So this is very important. You're adding it up. So just, let's substitute what is length. It is 3 plus x by y. And what is the width? Over here, don't put the brackets. It's plus over here. And now after this, we put the brackets to close it. So all we are doing is we are substituting in the formula of perimeter. Now if you multiply this 2 inside, what's going to happen? It will be 2 times 3 plus x divided by y plus 2 times y minus 2. That's it. Now then, here you can just see, multiply this 2 also inside, will be 6 plus 2x by y. That will be equal to 2x by y minus 2. So this would be the final answer. It's plus, sorry. You can see here they have also asked what is the restrictions on the variables. Can this y be equal to 0? No, then it's undefined. Y cannot be equal to 0. Also, y cannot be equal to y minus 2. When it goes to the other side, it will be plus 2. These two are not possible. Why? Because if we put 2 here, again, it will be undefined. And one more thing is x and y must be positive. Why? Because then we are dealing with length. It can't be negative, right? You can't have negative values. So that's the thing. So this is the answer, and this is the few of the conditions. You don't need to write all that, just mention this, it's more than enough. And this is also a choice problem. So you will have options, you just have to select the correct answer. Now here in the part B, they have told Hachi wants to remove a square corner from a garden. So what is going to happen if this part is removed, right? There'll be some part removed and we have to find the perimeter. See this and this much. Okay, the same thing. It's just that we have to change the sides. But here there's another important thing. This part, right, which is removed exactly, look over here, is half the width of the original side. So this is basically half of this part and this is half of this. So now in simple words, instead of all this, I'll take this as A, this base, and this as B, okay, this width. Now I need to add this A, this B, and what is this side? I know the total was A, right? But half of B is gone because the width over here is half of B minus half of B. Then what about this one? Again, it is B minus half of B, that is gone. But it's not over. We have other two components. What is this? That is, we have half of B, and over here also we have half of B. So we need to add them all up. Instead of all these complicated expressions, let me just take a simple understanding, because it's anyways not writing. So what I'll do is I'll add them all up. A plus B plus A minus half of B plus B minus half of B plus half of b plus half of b. This is half of b. Now what happens when half of b, we can okay, see here, a plus b as it is. Now here I'll write this a over here plus a again, and over here we have plus b. Is that okay so much? Half of b means minus 1b. Why? Because half and half makes it 1, but it's subtraction, right? We'll have 1b. And this again, half b and half b will be plus 1b. So this basically cancels. 1 minus 1 is 0. So you're having how much? 2a plus 2b. Basically, that's the same as the perimeter, original perimeter. So the perimeter just doesn't change if you take half of, the width. This is the concept, because this was the formula which we used a while ago, isn't it? Now, this is the simplification. So if I substitute here 2 times, what is a? A is basically 3 plus x by y and plus x by y minus 2. We're going to get the same answer as the previous one. You can see in the previous part, it's the same thing. 2 times a plus b. Now we are getting the same thing even after simplification. So here basically the perimeter is not changing. The expression is same as the perimeter of the original garden. Why? Because perimeter is not the area. The area is reduced. Yes, of course, the area over here and over here is different. But perimeter is the sides, isn't it? If you add up all the sides and this sides, it's just the same. So that's the answer over here. It's the same thing. Now, you do not need to follow all this. You can just follow what I've written over here. It's going to be the same thing. And this is all choices, so you just have to choose the correct answer. Now then, what do we have here? Determine the average of three rational numbers represented by these three rational expressions. Basically, you have to find the average. Okay, they have told the limits. This cannot be, okay, 3 and all is fine. Explain how you find the average. Average, imagine this is a plus b plus c. These are the three numbers. Average will be divided by 3. That's it. So here, what you can do is, see, in calculator, you will have four options, isn't it? Let me show you the calculator method. Instead of all this thing, writing it all and dividing by 3, take out your calculators. All you do is see this. All these numbers, add them and divide by 3, which is shown here, right? The same thing. I will first write this expression 1 by x, okay, plus, then what do we have? 1 by x minus 3. Then what do we have? Plus 1 by 2x, okay, divided by, over here it's 3. Now calculate at, I'll just choose 2. What is the answer? It's negative 1 by 12. So the average of these three numbers should be negative 1 by 12. So now one of the option must give you negative 1 by 12. Let's see over here the final answer. 5x plus 9 divided by 6x times x minus 3. Close the bracket. Calculated at 2, and the answer is, let me just see whether did I do anything wrong. Yes, I realized my mistake. It is not plus over here, it's minus. Simple plus and minus will give you the answer entirely different. X is 2, you can see it's negative 1 by 12. So this is the correct answer. Only one option can be matching. So obviously, and if they are equal, if they're correct answer, it must give a same value when you choose a same x value. So take x as 2 or something which is easy to remember. I always take x as 2 and compare, and you will get the same answers. And over here, this is the last problem, I believe. A resistor is an electrical component that reduces the flow of electrical current through a circuit. A resistor is connected in parallel when both of its terminals are connected to both terminals of an adjacent resistor. When three resistors are connected in parallel, the total resistance RT is given over here by this particular formula. Simplify the complex fraction. Explain how you know your result is simplified as much as possible. Now here, simplified means you're getting it in the least form, like this, only in two fractions by solving it up. Over here you can see you can multiply all by the denominators. Over here r2 and 3, over here r1 and 3, and then you can start simplifying. But instead of all this, I'm just going to show you the calculator method. Here first you need to put this given equation, so it's 1 divided by 1 Now here there are three variables. It's not the same. It's not xxx. It is r1, then r2, r3. There are two different values. So what I'll do is I'll take r1 as 2 plus 1 by r2 as 3, because I don't take 1. It's better to avoid this 1 value. We take all the others, okay? And over here we have 1 by 4. What are the values? It's 12 by 13. You should write it down, and you can just keep it in your mind as well. Now I will do this. 1 is 2 times 3 times 4 divided by 3 times 4 plus 2 times 4 plus 2 times 3. Is it correct? Yes, it is 12 by 3. So this is the correct answer. That's how we can easily match it up. Even over here, Timothy found this formula of total resistance 1 by RT is equal to so much. He said the formula is equivalent to the original formula. Is Timothy correct? If he is correct, then it should match. We know over here when we take, at 1, 2, 3, 4, we are getting this value. So I'll just put this now. 1 by 2 plus 1 by 3 plus 1 by 4. What is the answer? It is 13 by 12, but we were getting 12 by 13. But since here it's 1 by RT, this swaps. Basically, whatever the answer, if you divide it by 1, this answer, yes, it's 12 by 13, isn't it? That's what we got. So yes, this is absolutely correct. Yeah, Timothy is correct. That's what you can say. Since here in this part of the questions you'll be given options, you'll be given four options, we can use the calculator shortcut method. If not, it is not possible. Since question 11 is an electronic part, you will have four options, so you can use the shortcut methods here. That's the end of question 11. I hope you have found this helpful. If you have any doubts, please do post them in the comments, and I'll try to get back to you very soon.